Imagine it's 1917. You're lying on a half-frozen field in France, having just been wounded in the latest push to take your enemy's position. The retreat has sounded, the artillery has grown quiet, and you're alone. Terrified, you don't dare call out. Just as you're about to give up, you feel a gentle nudge against your body. You open your eyes and you see your salvation in the form of 4 furry legs and a wet nose. The mercy dog has arrived. Help is on the way. Known also as casualty dogs, the mission of the World War I Mercy Dog was to venture onto the battlefield and search for wounded soldiers. While this practice was widely used by both sides during the war, the first recorded use of the dogs in this role occurs in the 19th century with the German Army's Sanitätshunde, simply translated the medical dogs. There are reports of occasional dogs assisting medics during the Civil War, but none are well documented and fewer still mention any organized push by the respective armies to train them. The German Army, however, took great pains to build canine units that catered to soldiers by carrying much-needed medical supplies and seeking out the wounded amongst the dead. By World War I, this practice had been adopted by the French, British, and American armies. Generally, the most common breeds for mercy dogs were Doberman Pinschers, German Shepherds, and Boxers. These breeds were known for their intelligence, endurance, and trainability. However, Dobermans were also prized for their dark coats and agility, which worked well when blending in at night and dealing with the blighted terrain of trench warfare. Boxers, on the other hand, displayed all of these traits with the addition of brazen loyalty. It was said that they would happily give their own lives to protect a wounded soldier. Regardless of the breed, training was simple. Canine handlers would ask their charges to scent the air and scan for the scent of a wounded human. Once a scent was acquired, the dogs would be let loose to track the location of that smell. Thanks to the 300 million olfactory receptors located in a dog's nose, this task was quickly done. To clarify, humans only have 6 million olfactory receptors. Even the section of a dog's brain dedicated to deciphering smells is 40 times greater than our own. This allows a dog to pinpoint which nostril a smell has arrived in, and in turn helps to narrow the location of the smell. All of this put together creates an animal highly capable of deciphering between smells of an unconscious soldier and a dead one. If a mercy dog found a wounded man, the dog would return to their handlers holding its leash in its mouth, and then lead the rescue team back to the injured person. French mercy dogs were trained to take the soldier's hat back to their handler as a signal. One French dog reportedly returned empty-handed and chased his handlers about, barking relentlessly until finally they decided to follow. Upon their arrival, they were surprised to discover a wounded soldier had lost his hat in battle. That dog's dedication and determination saved the young soldier's life. As the war continued, many units gave their mercy dogs additional knapsacks filled with basic medical supplies to assist soldiers in tending to their own wounds while waiting for help. Unfortunately, not all soldiers survived, but thanks to mercy dogs, many did not die alone. When a dog discovered a soldier on the verge of death, they would lie beside them, laying their heads against the men until they passed away. Once the soldier had died, the dog would return to duty, seeking out the next soldier in need. It's no surprise then that these canines became popular both on the battlefield and back home. Tales of their heroism filtered through to the home front via film reels, newspapers, and letters from soldiers. One of the more famous World War I mercy dogs was a stray terrier named Rags, who had been adopted as a mascot for one of the U.S. military units stationed in Paris. It was quickly apparent that Rags, who had excelled as a camp morale booster, was uniquely talented for trench life. During his tenure, he was known to be a ferocious rat killer, an amazing messenger, an early warning alarm for incoming artillery, and even a good gas detector. However, it was his work as a mercy dog which earned him the most respect from his unit members. He was forced into retirement due to too many injuries brought on by gassing and shelling. Sadly, his last battle led to his own gassing and the death of his primary owner, First Sergeant James Donovan. After Rags recovered, Rags was sent back stateside and adopted by a military family where he stayed until his own death in 1939 at the ripe old age of 20. In the end, nearly 10,000 mercy dogs were used during the Great War, saving nearly 6,000 lives. Their success led to the greater use of dogs in non-combat positions. Later military engagements expanded search and rescue roles and added canine units for use in manhunts and bomb sniffing. Eventually, search and rescue dogs began to work with other government entities like federal and local law enforcement and rescue services like fire departments. With their success, private companies looked to dogs for assistance, leading to service dogs who assist the blind, mobility impaired, and even those suffering from PTSD. Today, it's not uncommon to see working dogs at sporting events, natural disaster sites, or even places as common as the aisle at your local grocery store. If you're interested in more information about Mercy dogs, both the YouTube channel Today I Found Out and the History Guy have excellent segments on the topic. And of course, if you want to pay your respects in the real world, you can visit the War Dog Memorial at the Hartsdale Cemetery just outside of New York City. If you're interested, every June there is a public ceremony that is held in honor of these brave animals. I've placed links to all of these below in the doobly-doo. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, hit subscribe, link the bell, make sure that you stay notified for when our next video comes up. We have so much great content coming out this season, so I will see you here next month with another story.